Today's program is sponsored by The Anthony Vincent Salon. Say hello to beautiful.
You're listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot and what's not. Get into the loop with us. I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise, and we're your radio gateway to what's trending with beauty, fashion, health, wellness, and sex.
Mostly sex.
Learn and laugh with us. Anytime, anyplace. Go right to our website, anthonyvincentsalon.com. Click away and listen today.
You'll be glad you did.
You sure will be.
Oh, do we have a great show for you today?
Of course we do.
This is our third show in the Quale series.
Yes.
And Quale will be talking about his new company called ClimbTheSearch.com.
Yeah, that's an amazing company. And what a wealth of information.
Yes. He is a great guest. We're looking forward to talking to him later on today. And what we're going to find out is that you're probably cooking your eggs wrong.
I'm cooking my eggs wrong?
Probably.
Really?
But knowing you do everything perfect, so you probably got it right.
I'm hoping I do, because I like what I cook my eggs. I like what I eat.
And we're going to talk about, right now, a Swiss-made watch.
Oh, I love that. I have quite a few.
You do?
I sure do.
But do you know what does Swiss-made really mean?
I thought I did, but I'm sure I'm going to find out.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now.
Well, then you go ahead and do that.
In 1971, before you were born,
Really?
a Swiss ordinance was enacted that would formally define what high quality meant.
Okay.
In this new law, it stipulated that to bear the Swiss-made label at the 6 o'clock position, a watch had to adhere to the following rules.
Oh, well, tell me what those rules are.
And I'm gonna.
I can't wait.
A Swiss-made watch must now have a Swiss-made watch movement.
Okay. Well, what is a Swiss-made watch movement, sir?
That's the motor. It's got to be Swiss-made.
Okay.
2, a Swiss assembly and encasing. A final inspection that's carried out in Switzerland.
All right. That's fair.
Final inspection.
Okay.
And a composition of 51%. Swiss manufactured products, though, through a recent addendum, has raised it to 60%. So today, a Swiss made watch has to have a composition of 60% stuff inside the watch that was manufactured in Switzerland.
But that's fair. I mean, if it's Swiss made, it should definitely be made up of, Swiss manufacturing.
That's true. But a Swiss movement watch
would just be the movement that's
just
made
the
up
movement
of it.
that can be made anywhere by anyone.
As long as it has the movement.
The Swiss-made movement.
Or Swiss stuff.
Well, the Swiss stuff is called, my tongue and lips aren't working here, are Swiss-made.
I see.
See, it's semantics. Swiss-made, Swiss movement.
And Swiss stuff.
Don't be fooled. So
I'm never fooled.
So if you want a truly Swiss watch, you must buy Swiss-made.
I'll remember that. And when I did buy my Swiss-made watches, they were definitely Swiss-made.
And 51%.
At least, I'm sure.
At least.
Especially where I purchased these watches, it was definitely a reputable place.
Of course.
So I know that they're definitely Swiss-made with Swiss stuff.
I lose my watches, so I buy the Timex.
You've been wearing a couple of your watches, for a while. I've seen them. You didn't seem to lose them. Do you leave them somewhere?
Didn't I once tell a story about my friend Jose?
You might have.
And his girlfriend. He stole my hat. I saw him in church.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I said, that son of a gun stole my hat.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. When I saw him in church, and the preacher was talking about, the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
That's when I realized when he said,
Thou shalt not steal.
no, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Oh,
I remembered where I left my hat.
Right.
That is his girlfriend's house.
Ooh.
Anyway, Elise,
Anthony,
you're probably poaching your eggs wrong. And when I say you,
you mean the vernacular name?
I mean the vernacular.
Well, I have to just tell you something. I know that when I poach my eggs, I know I'm not doing it wrong.
Okay.
I know for a fact.
Alrighty.
You know why I know? Because I was taught by somebody who is a chef who makes the most delicious poached eggs. I was taught. So you go ahead and you tell us how to poach an egg, but I'm going to tell you, I know my poached eggs are being cooked properly.
Well, most people are poaching their eggs with... Now, my lips still aren't working from that Swiss
stuff.
But most people will poach their eggs with salt.
Okay.
And that's fine. But the correct way is to use only a touch of vinegar. No salt to the simmering water, just a little vinegar.
Now, that is correct. My father-in-law taught us that. And he was a chef. And he taught us how to poach eggs. And not only can you do it with vinegar, there are many other ways you can actually poach an egg properly, even without the vinegar. But go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, please don't let me stop you from telling your story.
But I want to hear what you have to say about this next part because this looks really good.
Okay. Well, the easiest way to poach an egg, it's in sauce, not water. Mm-hmm. And what you want to do is you want to fill your pot, or lay down on your pot some tomato sauce, chopped tomatoes, and any kind of vegetable. It creates these little craters for the eggs. And what happens, your poached egg then becomes more than a poached egg. It becomes a healthy meal. And you can use the nonstick cookware. Mm-hmm. And in the season, and when you poach these eggs, what you would do is you would season your eggs before cooking, not after, to ensure the even seasoning throughout.
Wow. Well, that does sound really good. And I have to be honest, I did not know that one. So thank you. But I'm going to give you one right now that I do know.
Okay, tell me.
Okay. So you're going to take some spinach and you're going to chop it very, very finely.
I like it already. Some
onions, some mushrooms if you'd like. And you're going to put it all in chicken broth. You're going to let the chicken broth reduce just a little bit. And then you're going to poach your eggs in that mixture. And yes, that makes an incredible meal. It's light, it's delicious, and you can actually eat this cool or warm. It's absolutely fabulous.
It sounds it.
And if you want to, you can add a little sausage.
I'm Italian. We add sausage to
everything. That's what, why do you think I said it? And of course, don't forget the garlic. I know.
Garlic, my perfume.
Yeah. Yeah, it smells in here right now.
Now,
delicious.
It is. Yeah. What, are you saying I smell like garlic?
I said it smells in here right now. I said delicious. Didn't I say delicious?
Yes, you did.
Yes. No, it actually doesn't smell like garlic in here right now. It smells like patchouli.
That's what I wear.
I know.
Don't waste your unused egg whites. Do you know?
I never do.
Yeah. Did you know you can store them in the freezer?
I did not know that.
And when you do, these egg whites will whip up better than a fresh egg white.
You're right, probably because they're cold. And so they'll have a stiffer resolution. That's amazing. Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah. Excellent. Because you know how they say when you're making lemon meringue, like the meringue for lemon meringue pie, always make sure you keep those egg whites in the refrigerator. But now I imagine if you put them in the freezer, they'll even be stiffer.
Yes.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
I'm going to tell you a little story about my grandmother. She used to make me eggs every morning.
Ah, that's sweet.
She used to live around the corner from me. You know, Italians. Grandma lived around the corner.
Yeah.
Uncles lived down the street. Aunts lived up the street.
Oh,
But everybody was in walking distance.
I have to tell you something. We Jews are very similar. But go on.
Well, I would go to my grandmother's house every morning.
Aw, how sweet is that? For breakfast.
For breakfast.
Before school, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, how
Yeah, she
sweet.
cooked
All
for
right, so
me.
go on.
She wanted to make sure I eat. Well, this is how she would make my eggs for me. She didn't poach them, but she cooked them in a cast iron frying pan.
A cast iron skillet. I have one.
You do? Was it
Yeah.
your grandmother's?
It was actually my grandmother-in-law's. She gave it to me. She told me that, because I loved it, and I loved the things that she would make in it, especially her little, she would make these wonderful little, what are they? The crepes. She'd make these amazing crepes. Oh, God. Millie. You know Millie.
I know Millie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what my grandmother would do is she would put a little bit of imported extra virgin olive oil in her skillet
Yeah.
and heat it up. And she would break the egg in the skillet. Of course, that pan had to be hot.
Yes.
So as soon as that egg hit, you heard it sizzle.
You had
and
a nice fried egg there.
Yes. And then, but she never flipped the egg. She rolled the egg around in the olive oil, tilted the pan, and with a tablespoon took the hot oil,
And put it right on top.
and put it over top of the egg, and the hot oil cooked the top of the egg. And then she put the egg on my plate, and let me tell you,
Oh, I'm sure it was
that
delicious.
is the most delicious egg you'll ever have.
Oh, I'm sure. I believe that. My grandmother did not make them like that. My grandmother scrambled eggs for us all the time, and she would add, different things to it. Sometimes cream cheese, sometimes other kinds of cheese, different things like that. Always something very fattening, let me tell you that.
Well, that's the best tasting is the
And my
fattening
grandmother,
stuff.
she would say, I can't have you starving. You cannot starve. We were all so fat from her cooking and the things that she would do. But yeah, and they were cooked in butter.
Of course.
Yeah, that's what she would do.
So your grandmother would say starving. My grandmother would say, mangia, endere, mangia.
My grandmother used to think that I was starving my children because they were so thin.
They still are.
Yeah, well, she actually used to think that I would starve my children because, if they weren't hungry anymore, I didn't make them finish the plate, as she put it. Oh, it was terrible. She would tell everybody that I was starving my children. It was awful.
Well, those were the days.
Definitely.
I have some tidbits over here.
I
and
love a
know-
good tidbit.
Yeah, and we've always talked about tidbits, but we've never really said that we have tidbits on the show.
Oh, no. Remember a while ago in the beginning, I would
We had
say, do you have a little tidbit for me? And then you would say, hey, do you have a little tidbit for me? And I'd say, I got a tidbit for you. Well, now you have a tidbit for me?
Wow, I could barely remember yesterday, let alone
Well, that was a year
our
ago.
first
so
couple of shows there.
let's talk about tidbits here.
Well,
Oh, and then I have something to read to you afterwards, a little inspiration.
I love inspiration.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Men lose about 40 hairs a day.
Okay.
Women lose 70.
Now, why is that fair?
I don't know. But blood has the same amount of salt as the sea.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's an interesting tidbit.
And did you know that you're taller in the morning?
I did not know that I'm taller in the morning.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, that means you're taller in the morning, too.
I am, but I have this little thing in the afternoon. I have one of those healthy inversion tables.
You stretch yourself?
Well, no, after my workout, every afternoon, I will hop onto my inversion table and I will dangle upside down for, 3 to 5 minutes just to stretch out.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's great.
And did you know the eyelashes on your eyeballs, do you know they last about 150 days?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
You are just a plethora today. Wow.
Well, I have so much more, but I know you wanted to share something with us.
Yeah, no. I want to hear the rest of the things that you have.
Okay, well, as far as my eyelashes lasting 150 days, there are more than 500 hairs in our eyebrows.
Not in mine. I pencil mine in because trust me when I tell you, there's barely anything there.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't tell. I'm sitting right next to you. I don't know that they're penciled in.
Oh, yeah. Penciled and shadowed.
Well, the blood in our system that has the same amount of salt as the sea circulates 1,000 times each day.
Well, now that's a lot of circulation. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And did you know that our bones are 4 times stronger than concrete.
I did not know that, but you know what? That makes me nervous because if I want to break somebody's bones, how am I going to do that if I can't break concrete?
Oh, you're going to take a course in Martha Martial Arts.
I don't really want to break anybody's bones. I was just saying,
Okay,
Can you
but
imagine?
you certainly don't mind breaking balls. I know that firsthand.
Oh, well, here I have a little inspiration for us from the mother of all, Mother Teresa. Every time you smile at someone, it is an action of love, a gift to that person, a beautiful thing. And that is right from Mother Teresa. She said that. And that's what's so wonderful. I smile all the time. And it's so great because it's a gift that you give and somebody gives it right back to you. And I think that's fabulous.
You can't buy it. You can't take it. You can't steal it. It can only be given.
Absolutely. And you can give it back.
I'm Anthony Vincent of Anthony Vincent Salon. Time for another fun and fabulous beauty tip with our tip chick. And here she is.
Got brows? Aching for an arch? Frame it, fill it, and flaunt it. Say hello to beautiful.
Want your beauty question answered on the air? Email us now from anthonyvincentsalon.com. Remember, for the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Call us now at 609-448-2212. You'll be glad you did. And now our very own gatekeeper of matrimonial law, Roseanne de Torres.
Check out DeTorres and DeGeorge, certified matrimonial law attorneys at dndfamilylaw.com.
You'll be glad you did.
Good morning, Roseanne.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fabulous.
Good to hear.
I know we are fabulous, I should say, right?
The three of us.
You look fabulous.
Actually, the four of us.
Thank you. Yeah, we're all fabulous. Okay, so I have a really, really cool question for you. And I just didn't know the answer. Somebody actually, a man actually asked me this question, so I'm asking you. At any time, can a parent change a minor child's last name without the other parent's permission?
No, you can't do that.
You know what? I thought that, but I wasn't 100% sure, so I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, so the longer a child has the name, the harder it is to change it
I wouldn't
without
think
the
that
other
you'd wanna
parent's
do that.
permission. Right.
But
It's interesting that you asked me about that because I actually took a case to the New Jersey Supreme Court about that very issue, about the last name of a child.
really?
Yeah. The case is called Adley versus Ronan. And my client was the father. He was not married to the mother. The birth certificate had the child's name, which was my client's last name, Adley. But the mother, when the child went off to preschool, hyphenated the child's last name to include her name, Adley-Ronan. My client objected. There's really very little case law on it at the time. My guy lost. But we did make law in the state of New Jersey at the time. It's changed a little bit now, but at the time it was deemed to be appropriate for the custodial parent to be able to include her name in the child's name without the permission of the other parent. But as the child ages, it gets harder and harder to change because there's an identity that's built up around the name.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, I
agree. So the longer you use the name, the child is known by that name, it becomes that much harder to change. So the law is a little different now. The custodial parent is given a little more discretion now to change the name, but there's a bunch of factors that have to be considered, but certainly not without the consent of the other parent. I mean, the court can impose that without the consent, but you couldn't just do it on your own.
Wow. Very interesting. Wow, I'm glad that was a good question.
Yeah.
Now, when the child is 18, they can change their name whatever they want. If they want it to unhyphenate it or change it or
Yeah,
do
they'd
whatever.
have to go through a name change proceeding, and as long as they weren't changing their name to avoid creditors or criminal prosecution, you could change your name to whatever you want. Like,
Well, you wouldn't be able to avoid anything because you have to do it legally in order to...
right. Like
Yeah,
that
so-
basketball player, Meta World Peace. And Ocho Cinco, the football player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Prince is always
They
changing
could
his name.
change their name to whatever you want.
Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. After somebody files for divorce, do they have to continue living in the state that they filed? Like in New Jersey?
While the proceeding is going on, no. They don't have to stay. Nope. You can go. But you have to have a residency requirement. It's 1 year.
Okay.
You have to have lived in New Jersey for at least a year before you can file for divorce in New Jersey.
Oh, you have to live in New Jersey for at least a year?
Yeah. So, but once you've achieved
That's interesting. I was going to ask that question. Okay.
Once you've achieved that, and you file, then you can leave.
Okay, so you just have to file. So you can still, your divorce will still be going on, but you can actually not be there.
Correct.
Huh.
Yep.
Very, very interesting.
Unless you have children, you couldn't bring the children across straight lines.
That's true. There's a statute that prohibits a parent from permanently removing children from the state of New Jersey without the other parent's consent. Otherwise, that's called kidnapping.
Yes.
I hate that.
Can't have that. Yeah. What do you mean you hate that? You don't have kids, so it wouldn't pertain to you.
You don't know that.
He doesn't know that.
I don't know that either.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you know that? Interesting. Wow. Well, thank you so much
You're
for
very
these
welcome.
wonderful answers.
Roseanne, if our listeners want to get a hold of you, where can they reach you?
Our law firm is called DeTorres and DeGeorge. We're located at 146 Main Street in Flemington, New Jersey. Our phone is 908-284-6005, and our website is dnddfamilylaw.com.
Perfect.
This portion of our show is sponsored by Susan Eckley Ruck of ID Life. Not a one-size-fits-all nutritional program.
ID Life stands for Individually Designed Life, where nutrition is personal, formulated just for you and your needs.
Get started today. Take the free HIPAA-compliant health assessment.
healthforlife.idlife.com.
That's the number 4.
Or give Susan a call, 609-712-1351.
Follow her on Facebook.
You'll be glad you did.
And in our series of Quali,
Quale.
Quale. But he's okay with Quali,
Yeah, I'm
aren't
okay
you,
with
Quali?
quality. I'm okay with quality.
As long as we call him Qua.
Yeah.
We are so blessed to have Qua come back with us again for this series. The third time he's back in our studio. Such a busy guy, such a talented man, and you as our audience are going to learn again so much about what he's got to say. And Qua, thank you again for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's
again.
always a pleasure.
I'm so happy to see you again. Your bright smile
too.
just cheers me up.
So you have so many companies and you're so diverse in what you do. One of your companies was called an SE something or
Yeah,
other.
so
Climb the search.
It's Climb the Search. It's an SEO company, search engine optimization, and our job is to help companies get to the number 1 on the search engine for specific keywords. I'm not sure what people understand. I think SEO is probably the most mysterious thing on the internet. People don't know if it works. How do people climb the search? How do
well,
they?
it works when you see the first page
Results,
and those
and you're
people
on it.
are on the first page. That's how you know it works.
I created the business because it just didn't help. I knew how important SEO was, but it was so mysterious to me as well. And so I worked with this company out in California, and I paid a lot of money. I think I spent about maybe $10,000 on just for SEO, and then my search engine wasn't moving in it. I was still on the 4th page. I came to my brother and I said, "Hey, Coy, you're a web expert. It says I'm trying."
What's your brother's name?
My brother's name's Coy.
So it's Qua
And
and
Coy,
Coy.
yeah. Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and his is KHOI. Mine is KHOA.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any sisters?
No sisters. No sisters. And my brother was like, "We said you're crazy. You're spending so much money for something that they just probably outsourcing it to a different country, and they're not even doing what they need to be doing. And if anything, they might be doing it wrong, where it's going to hurt your company." I said, "Really?" I said, "So what do I do?" I said, "You know what? Let me help you." So he helped me, and he said, "This is what we're going to do." He laid out the whole plan and the concept of how it works. So I'm not sure. Do you guys know the concept of how SEO works?
A little bit, but we're not enough that we don't want to hear it from you.
Okay.
So go for it.
So so you say you have a company called the Banana Club, right? And then you want to promote that in the city. How do you get out there? Well, it's just like you would type in the keywords that you're looking for new clubs in New York City. Well, you're gonna come out with
A zillion.
a zillion clubs. How do you stand above others? Well, you want to start looking for niche keywords. It's like you moved into a new block, right? And you want to be you're the type of personality that wants to be popular in the block.
Right.
So what do? You go out and you may, knock on everybody's door. Hi, my name is Anthony. My name is Alyssa. I'm gonna be doing, here's some cookies for you, blah, 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 right? Or, you know what? A better way is I'm gonna invite everybody to my house party. And now you create more popularity. So this whole, for the next 6 months, everyone knows who you guys are, the new people in the block that created this house party, that created this entertainment, and then you become very popular. It's the same thing on the web. Each keyword is your own block.
Okay.
So every time you say you want to create, it's for us it would be like videographers in New Jersey. That's one keyword. Then we would concentrate on that one keyword until we become number one. After we're done, we go into our next keyword and become number one there. So the next thing you know, we have like 50 keywords that you're number one on, and that's how you
Now,
really
do you
build
buy
it up.
the keywords?
No, well, no, we don't use. I don't use AdWords. They call it Google AdWords. That's your way of paying your keywords to get on top of the searches. But for me, I don't know. Do you guys click on ads?
No, we
I
do
don't
not.
click on words.
No,
I
neither
click
do
on
I.
ads. So I find that kind of useless for me. So I said the most important thing is making sure that you're creating, making sure that you have a popular keyword that people could search for. How to do that? That's the question.
I was going to just say,
How
my
do you do
question
that?
is,
How?
how do you do that?
Google, everyone goes by the Google standards, right? And Google is always changing their algorithms. And so the idea is that you have to stay on top of what Google does. And it's all about creating content, from blogs, being active on social media, picture sites, like, you could do working with Pinterest or whatever it is, for weddings. You have LinkedIn, forums, hashtags, and you have to do them every single day. It's a full-time job. If you're the type of people that you're dabbing into once in a while, you might as well not. You're gonna stay in the 5th page of Google the whole time.
See, I'm on Facebook now 3 or 4 times a day, definitely, all the time now.
But Facebook, there's a way. Facebook
And
only-
Twitter, and I'm doing
Right.
Twitter, and I'm working on Pinterest and Instagram.
Right. And then, being experts in the industry, you have to create videos and you create hashtags for the videos.
Oh, and we're just starting to blog too.
Yeah, you're blogging, and if you're consistent with it, and you have to optimize your keywords to the specific audience that you're trying to target.
Right.
Now, Google came out with a system, from what I heard, that if you end up writing bad content, you get dinged for it. You move down the search engines.
What is bad content? What is
Meaning,
yeah.
like, if you're writing like content that doesn't pertain to your industry, or it's just going off your topic or whatever it is,
Oh.
you get dinged for it.
Oh, okay. So you have to stick within
because
what your
there's a
goal
lot
is.
of what
Yeah.
they call a white hat and black hat. The black hat way is like the people might put the type blogs on, they just put keywords in there, and then Google picks it up with new content and keywords. They think that's good, and then they rank you. And it doesn't work that way anymore.
No.
Now-
So
now-
they would just blog keywords.
It's almost like a reader now, like a robot reader that reads your content. Oh wow, okay, I like that good blog. So they're making you write real stuff. You actually have to put real work in it, to climb your search. And
But I would.
yeah.
I would want it to be.
And a lot of companies don't do that, and so they get
Well,
dinged.
that's because we're ethical
Yeah, but I would want it to be perfect.
Yeah,
I
you
want it
want
to
it
be
to be
something that I would want to read.
and be
Right.
proud of.
So
Right.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I would want it to be something that somebody else is going to want to read too.
And then we align it with social media, and we align it with, and just strategic ways of how. So I hired a writer full time just to do blogs, just to write. And I said, hey, I want you to research the content. So, okay, it might be about storyboarding. Make sure you do a full, complete analysis of storyboarding, and I want you to write very intelligently on the blog. I will pay you for that. I said, yes. It's not about volume now. It's about quality content, and that's what Google picks up.
And so your writer is for your blog.
Yeah, and like scripts and everything. He's also a script writer, but to keep him paid,
You have him doing all kinds of things.
all
Okay.
kinds, just so I could keep him, so he could have a job with me, And so we are, and Google is constantly changing. So when you hire like us as Climb the Search, our job is to stay on top of it. We're working while you're sleeping. That's how it is, and it takes
That's
time.
how I am. I'm working while everybody is sleeping.
And we're very affordable because we also know that we cater to startup businesses, we cater to corporate business, and it depends on how fast you want to grow, how fast you want to climb the search. Then we have to is a matter of how much quality content do you need. From the volume and the quality has to be balanced out.
Okay,
And
so basically what you were saying is Climb the Search. That company is very affordable for businesses to hire.
Absolutely.
So
we're a startup. We're a
How
startup.
do people reach you then? ClimbTheSearch.com? Is
Yep.
that what they...
Exactly.
Perfect.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah,
Climb
that
the
is
search,
easy.
ClimbTheSearch.com. And they could easily inquire. And it's just a simple, it's a setup fee. And then you go in and we actually walk you through, educate you exactly what's going to be happening. And we actually hands-on every 2 weeks we will call you up. My staff will call you up to say how you guys are doing. Here's the analysis. Here's what's happening here. You got dinged over here. We're gonna hear, or you've been ranked next 10. You're improving your ranks over here. Here's the future plan to your campaign.
Okay, and they would go through that, all of your social media, all of everything
we
that
would
you
do.
need
We would do anything we can to make sure that you're ranking higher.
in
That's
Google.
ethical. That's
In Google.
ethical.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we're not like you're not outsourcing. We're not outsourcing the job outside. We're constantly
actually have the people.
we're constantly hiring writers and we're training them in order to cater to the rankings.
So how does the writer know, depending on the type of business? Let's say the beauty industry.
That's part of the research.
Okay.
So the beauty. So they go into the beauty industry. They learn everything as much as they can in the beauty industry. This is what's happening. Okay, how do you do makeup in 10 minutes? Or, what's the secret ingredient for it? Oh, there is no secret ingredient. Compare artistry to hair and makeup, blah, blah, blah. What's the dispute? Anything that could be catered to it, they will research on it. And it's a dedicated account. So you have a set team that works for the next, whether you do 6 months or 1 year with us, you have a team that's dedicated to work in that industry.
Now, is it the same team? Let's say if you have a blogger for the beauty industry, for the shoe industry, for
Yes,
it's
right.
the same people.
I give you an example. It depends. Like there's only a few people. Like each group could only handle maybe up to 10 clients, if not maybe just a little bit less. After that, we create another group. And that's how we're expanding. And so, in each group we have one who will do the research and they will educate this person to be able to write it. There's a whole nice workflow to the research and to the building of the writing the content. And it's we have a good example. We did this company they did the floors and the painting. They call it Floor Exchange. And they're looking to climb the ranks, and so we spent the entire month just doing our research on their industry.
Wow.
And that's what it actually takes, because you have to know their industry, you have to know the content in order to make it work. And we're spending the time. 1 month would be time for research, or maybe even more, but we make sure that we understand the industry and then we cater to it.
Now, for a young entrepreneur or a young company just getting started, what would something like that cost? If any of our listeners out there would like to get on top of the Google search, what would it cost?
It starts at monthly. It could go. It's a monthly subscription from $300 and it could go up to $2,000 a month.
Wow.
For now, and it could go a little higher. So it's for startup companies, we recommend at least the middle package, like the $800 package, which is nothing, because if a client sees you through Google and books your services, if you
And you get them. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
All you need.
That's all you
What
need.
do I always say? All you need is just one.
Just one.
It takes one. It just takes one. And you
And
could
there-
spend.
and you're going from there.
You could invest. Say you don't get a client for the next 6 months, but on the 6th month you get something. It kind of covered all your expenses in that, and now even more, because now you're getting so much clients from it. It's worth it.
Every event that we do, I always look at Anthony. I say, all we need is one.
But you know
we
what?
always get more than one.
And
though.
But I always
a lot
say
of
you only-
entrepreneurs, they do things like startups, they think small. They have a big vision where they want to go, but because the money and the undercapitalized is so tight, they
the
think
wallet
small.
is small. Well, the wallet is small.
Yeah.
So they're, I mean, I can certainly understand that. They're afraid to make the investment because maybe one of the biggest reasons companies fail is they're undercapitalized.
Right.
And if they have their capital and they're saying, well, I'm going to put it into this intangible service
Right.
here when, I need to pay my staff. It's a big
tough.
balancing
It's a big
act.
balancing, right,
Yeah.
right. It's
And that's where fear sets in.
yeah, fear sets in, but they all know that I want to get on Google. I said, you're gonna have to pay for it. It's you don't have to pay. You could do it yourself, but do you want a company to do it for that's working pretty much
But this is
all
all
around,
they do.
all they
this
do.
is all they do. Yeah.
Or do you want to be doing it yourself and when you're trying to run a company?
Well, you can't do
You
that
can't- exactly.
when you're trying to run your business.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why there are businesses like yours that
I
make
couldn't.
it
I
so-
couldn't. I was trying.
You were trying to do it yourself
I was
and you
trying to do it
couldn't.
myself. I couldn't.
That's
Impossible.
why you went to your brother.
I wanted to write blogs too, and I didn't even have time to write a blog because you have to write something that's intelligent.
Right.
And then, grammatically correct and everything else. It's a lot of time, a lot of work. You're spending 3-4 hours just to write one blog sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely. So now we get, we're the ones that's doing all the research and writing it for you, and that way you can concentrate on your business, and you're creating a brand for yourself. Once you get on Google, if you're producing quality work, that is, and you're on Google, that's a marriage right there. If you have bad quality content, you don't have any quality content over there, and you're on top of Google, then it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter if you're on top of Google; people's gonna skip you.
Right.
But you could marriage your quality content with great personality and show great value in what you do and how much care that you do and how much passion, and you're being advertised as number one on Google. You're gonna have a huge business out of it, huge, multi-million-dollar business easily if you do it right.
Wow.
When our company redid our website several years ago, we had a professional do it. We did not do it ourselves as we have in the past, and they did recommend the search engine optimization, which I went for, and that may have been 5 or 6 or maybe 7 years ago now. What they did was they just put keywords into. And I don't quite remember
Into the website.
Yeah, into the website.
Yeah, that's all gone right now.
That's all gone.
That's yes, they use meta tags. Yes, that's part of it. Still, it's very probably like 5%.
It is.
Very little.
Okay. And I find that when we always check when we Google ourselves, we're still on the first page, and we're still somewhere between the first and the third.
Oh, that's great.
Person that you see.
Now, what kind of searches? That's the question.
You're talking about with the keywords.
Yeah, with your keywords.
There's probably about 50 different keywords that we've used. I don't recall them all off the top of my head.
So the idea is if you could be on top of Google, number one Google for small keywords. So there's only 500,000 search results that come out of it. It's a very tiny portion. If you're trying to compete with 100 million results, that's much more difficult to climb the search on that because it's very popular on that. And so it's dependent. I would have guys say, "Oh yeah, we're number one Google too. What's your keyword?" And he would literally type his own company name in the search.
Well, that's not a keyword. Yeah.
Obviously, you know. But or it would be a keyword that nobody would really type. Then of course you can be number one. You're not competing with anybody.
Right.
Well, I just put in on Google New Jersey hair salons, and on the first page we came up. We were the second.
There
name
you go.
Right there on the first page.
And that's in New Jersey. That's all of New
great.
Jersey.
I just put in New Jersey hair salons, and there we
So
are.
you
right
must
there.
be getting, quite a few, maybe a few hundred hits a day on your website.
We
right?
get a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot.
We're working really hard on this, though. So I'm
Yeah.
really proud that
There
I
you
just
go.
put this into Google just now, and that came up because I was like, damn, that would
Now-
have been really
now-
I'm
nice.
glad we were the second person, not the second page.
No, we're
Now-
the second person. Exactly.
Now you could type in New York hair salons. right?
Okay.
That's
Okay,
different.
that'll
Now,
be different.
Now you want to compete in that industry because if you see everybody just soaring on it and you have to look at the results on it, then that's where you want to start focusing your keyword on. You want to become new blocks, people in a block for every keyword. So it's never SEO is almost never ending because you get number one over here.
Yeah, we're not in that one. Yeah. Okay, we'll work on that one.
And then there's other searches. It could be how about hair salons? You got the national. What if your hair salon? What if your number one hair salon and you'll be traveling all around the United States doing work at that time? It could be open office. That's if you want to brand that way.
Yeah.
It depends. It really depends on how far you want to go with your brand. But it could be never end. It could be some type of hairstyle that you want to brand.
Oh my gosh, you know what just came up? This is really amazing. I just wrote hair salons. That was it. And top hair salons, and it came up top hair salons in East Windsor, Anthony Vincent Salon, and then they said a couple of others.
So
that was the first thing that came
it's
up.
because you're active on your website, aren't you?
Wow.
We are.
Wow.
See, exactly.
And then you come up as the first one after it said that with the address and everything.
Now, and you guys been around for a long time, right?
We've been
40
around
years.
40 years?
40 years.
The company's been around?
The company has been
See,
around.
and so Google loves longevity. Any new company that comes in, they're not going to take you down because you guys have seniority over other small companies.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do you get these small companies to have some type of
Well, we're not going to let them pass up.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So but you guys are strong. You guys are active on your website. You guys are doing SEO work, and you guys are doing it, and you create high quality work.
We hashtag everything.
Yeah,
We are
hashtag.
like the queens of the queen and king of hashtag. It's so funny because it was like just a little number sign. Now it's a hashtag.
Now it's a hashtag. Right. Yeah. So all that combination you guys are doing, that's really what it is. Duplicate that to 100 different companies.
Wow, that's amazing. That would be amazing.
Well,
cool. That is awesome. Well, this has certainly been quite a learning experience with you.
Thank you.
Quite a learning. We've learned so much. I can't believe you have Climb the Search, you have Live Picture Studios, and K-Vibe Productions.
Yes. And there's one more company.
Oh,
that we
share.
are
Do
forming.
share.
We want to know about it.
Yeah,
It's
tell
called.
us.
It's in formation right now. It's getting trademarked. It's called Sour Milk Pictures.
Sour Milk Pictures.
Because I'm bringing on new partnership into the company where K-Vibe is more servicing and everything else. Sour Milk Pictures is just dedicated to intellectual property of the films that we produce. That way, I could leverage different partnerships in there without risking my assets, which is
love it.
Live Picture Studios and K-Vibe and stuff.
Love it.
Yeah. So but the idea, it was to be able to, the goal is not just to make pictures. The goal was to do pictures at lower cost rates, meaning like we want to do pictures at a $2 to $5 million range. And I don't believe in pictures that cost $30 million where you're paying $10 million to a writer. The movie hasn't got off the ground yet, and you're paying $10 million off the bat. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, they created a name for themselves. They created leverage themselves. But that's what points are for. That's what royalties for. If you're successful, if the film's successful, you're gonna make money on the back end anyways.
No matter what.
Why do
yeah.
you want everything up the front end right off the bat? It doesn't make any sense. So
Well, it makes sense to them.
makes sense to them. But
Yeah.
because that's their industry. They would probably hate me for it. But
And it's their ego also. It's like, hey.
I want to be able to have, with $30 million, imagine we could, instead of creating one film, imagine we could create 10 films with the same amount, and we still create the quality product. We're still putting our story, and more importantly, we're creating opportunities and jobs for people to be in the industry, to work on
That's
quality
wonderful.
products, and where people are loving what they do, and they have consistency out of it. The idea is consistency. There's not enough consistency in film art.
Well,
You
see,
go out there.
that's what you break anything down to. In order to be successful,
You got to be consistent.
there has to be consistency.
So how do you create consistency in the film world? If we could make the rates a little bit lower and have more consistency, I'd rather do that than to kill people with all these crazy budgets here. Yes, I
Right.
understand you're doing a Batman movie, but you got CGI companies. CGI, their market rate is 400%. They're charging $400 a minute. I mean, yes, they have high overhead. Does it make sense? But I also know that also, because they're not competing with anybody, they could do anything they want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's where we came in. It's going back to the wedding industry for us, for Live Picture Studios. It's people were charging $10,000 jobs for what we do, but I slashed that under half because I knew that that's ridiculous and what they were spending or charging. But if we could cut that in half and create the same quality, of course we're going to get the volume worth that we're going to get.
We should probably nominate you to the next administration for Job Czar for the country. Get all these people working.
Also.
Yeah.
It's tough. People like to hear the ideas, and then when it comes to executing it, it doesn't make sense to them because they're trying to put more cash in their pocket.
Well, you see, you can't chase the money.
You can't chase the money. No,
We
you
always
can't.
say that.
You
Yeah.
cannot chase the
You
money.
do the very best, be the best you can be. The money will follow you.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll follow
That-
you.
We say that all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And the
We say that even when we're interviewing anybody.
Yes.
You know,
The
because
follow-up, yeah, absolutely.
The worst thing you can say on an interview is, how much am I going to get paid?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's the
absolutely.
worst thing.
That's
Yeah.
the worst thing.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing.
How much money are you going to pay me?
Because they will work. Because
That's what they're thinking about.
They're working for the money, not working for the
For the passion.
And that's the wrong. And
that's not going to happen.
And the idea is to align the same values with the people that you work, even the people that you're doing business with. It might not
Exactly. We don't do business with everybody.
No,
we don't.
You do business with people that lives up to your standards
You know,
and
it's
to your
interesting.
values as well.
It's so interesting because there are a lot of different event companies that we deal with, and we stopped dealing with some of them. Of course, not saying any names, but because their values weren't the same as ours.
Exactly.
And that was a problem.
Yes.
Because how do you work with somebody and for somebody and do something with somebody if you don't have the same values?
Exactly.
The core values
you're
are so
bumping
important.
heads,
Exactly.
and I'm feeling guilty because I'm feeling as though we did something wrong. I don't want to use the word unethical, but just,
If you feel uncomfortable about something, generally it's because it's not right.
It's not right. Yes.
And if there's something in your gut that tells you that that it's not the right thing, then you know
No,
that.
it's not the right
Go with
thing.
your gut always,
Yeah.
because your
always
gut
go
always
with our
knows.
gut. Always.
Right. And that's how people look at the short-term run, and they just do it. Okay, maybe you're gonna do it just to help you get to this next step, but don't do it again. No, don't work. Okay, this might be a big whale. That would be a big account for you. But if your values and their values are totally not aligned, and it's not going to make your job happy or whatever it is,
And it's not going to work. Ultimately,
it
it's
won't work.
never
And
going to work.
If anything, it's going to make you worse because, you got short-term money, but you know what? They're not going to like the quality. You hate your job, and you're what's the point?
There is no
What's the point?
point.
You know?
It's just going to be unsuccessful.
Exactly. But I totally understand. If you don't have any cash in your pocket, you're doing whatever you can just to make it work.
Well, no, I understand that also. It's just that
Right.
it just ultimately that's just the wrong way to go.
Yeah.
Because eventually it will work if
It
you're
will work.
consistent
Yes.
and you're passionate
Yeah.
and you follow what you know is right.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys are entrepreneurs for sure.
As you are. Oh, we are so blessed to have had you with us. We definitely
Thank
now
you.
have
I am
the Qua
blessed, yeah.
series. Yeah, it was lovely seeing you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank
for
you so
sharing
much.
everything with us.
Thank you again for joining us. Once again, we've been speaking with Kwale
Yeah.
from
And he
Climb the
has-
Search.
Yes. Well, wait. Let me give the list because people need to know this. Climb the Search, Live Picture Studios, K-Vibe Productions, and now soon, Sour Milk Pictures.
Yes.
Oh, and don't forget, look for his movie, Walt Before Mickey.
Yes.
Yeah. That's going to just be awesome.
Well, you just about to say Walt before Disney.
I was.
It's
Some
Walt-
people say that.
they
But
do.
I actually corrected myself and said Walt Before
You're
Mickey.
very
Yeah.
good. You're very, very good.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Anthony. You're very good too.
So, Kwa, thank you again,
Thank you again.
for joining us today. And we hope to have you back again if you have the time for us. And we can talk more about Sour Milk Productions. Sour Milk Pictures.
Yes.
Great.
Thank
Thank
for
you
having
again.
me. Thank you.
Take care.
I'm Anthony Vincent of Anthony Vincent Salon. Time for another fun and fabulous beauty tip with our tip chick. And here she is.
Got limp locks? Wake that dead, lifeless hair. Use the right bodybuilding products. texturize, and what a surprise. Say hello to beautiful.
Want your beauty question answered on the air? Email us now from AnthonyVincentSalon.com. Remember, for the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Call us now at 609-448-2212. You'll be glad you did.
And now for the fun facts on finance
From a feminine point of view, our very own Dina Cobran.
of DC Alexander Wealth Management.
Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
I'm great. How are you?
We're fabulous.
We
Thank
are
you.
always fabulous and fun. We are
That's-
fun and fabulous.
And that's what we're trying to do. Let's put the fun back into the budget.
I think that's great.
So here's the thing. If we, with budgets, I know that they're not so much fun, but we have to make sure that aside from anything, we've been talking about putting the fun back into the budget. And I know that budgets aren't always fun, but we also have to make sure that we have fun later in life. So how do we put fun into our budget and include
the future fund.
The future fund, exactly.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, that's what we talk about as far as when we talk about retirement planning. People say, especially young people today, they cannot picture retirement. You talk to a 19-year-old kid. I was talking to somebody yesterday and, he's 19 and we're saying, if you put $2,000 away right now and you put it away for 40 years and you're earning 12% a year for 40 years, you're going to have $128,000 on one $2,000 investment. Well, that might not sound fun now, but if you multiply that by taking $2,000 a year, which is really not very much if you think about it, and putting it away for later, part of budgeting, as you're saying, is creating a future fund. Otherwise, you're going to be working until you're 100 years old. I mean, we have,
If you live that long.
Right. I mean, we have too many people that are going back to work in their retirement years because they just can't afford to just be retired, so to speak.
Unfortunately, they didn't budget.
Right, right. And so we're trying to help educate people while they're younger and while they're thinking and listening to the show to start thinking about, where we can cut our expenses so that we can have a more fun future.
Exactly.
And I think I'm at that point right now. I mean, my next birthday, I'm going to be 40. And What?
You look 40, Anthony. That's all that matters.
So what kind of fun things could I look forward to, and how much would I need to do these fun things, or how would I have gotten to
Is
that?
this you were talking about
Yeah.
or the vernacular?
No, the vernacular.
I was going to say that
Yeah, the
because, your
vernacular.
kind of fun might be different from, Mary Smith's fun,
I was just thinking the average 40-year-old. And what if that average 40-year-old just starts saving today he didn't at his when he was 19, but at 40, all of a sudden he sees life differently. What does he need to do?
Well, at the very least, he should be socking away as much as he can for retirement. The 40-year-old might have children, so he's going to be looking at college costs. I mean, the 40-year-old starting to save today has a lot of problems on their hands because they're looking at their parents that they may have to help take care of. They're looking at children that they may have to help take care of for college as well. And they are also looking at their own retirement. So you're in that kind of center of three problems potentially that could be. I mean, a lot of us are waiting to have children, and so you're finding that the cost, it becomes overwhelming, to wait till you're 40. The idea is to try to get people to start saving when they're younger, where they have extra cash. By the time you're 40, if you have children or if you have, adult parents that may need your help financially, you don't want to be in that situation. It's not that it's too late. We can still help them, of course.
Exactly. That's the thing. Some people are in that situation. So that's where you would come in.
Right. Because then we fine tune their budget. We look at what they're spending, and really see where we can cut things from them without hurting their fun.
I have a question. I have always heard from the time that I opened, my business the very first day, that you should always pay yourself first.
Absolutely.
But, I'm in business for myself. The person who works for someone and receives a paycheck, what should they be doing to pay themselves first?
Well, they have to, and a lot of people don't understand that. What does pay yourself mean? What does pay yourself first mean? And that's what we have to define is, you're earning $1,000. Of every $1,000, take $200 and make sure it's going to something that is significant for your family's future. And what we mean by that is investing it into something, like a mutual fund or a stock or whatever they're comfortable buying, and putting it away for their future, for specific needs and goals that they have.
So if you're getting a paycheck, that $200, does that represent like 15 or 20% of your paycheck?
I would like to see that. Yeah, it represents 20%, but I would like to see them save 20%. Now, some people listening are going to say that's impossible. There's no way I could save 20% of my income, but I would say that you should try to make it a goal. I mean, obviously, if you have huge debt at this point, we've got to work on paying that debt down. But I'm a firm believer of not only paying the debt down and just working like a gerbil on a wheel, but also, putting away money for different things at the same time, because then you're just going to feel frustrated with work and not be happy in what you're doing.
Let's give your email so people can reach you.
Sounds good. It's dkobrin, K-O-B as in boy, R-I-N as in Nancy, at nextfinancial.com.
Fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh, it's great. We love you.
Thank you. Love you guys too.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Next Financial Group Incorporated, member FINRA/SIPC. DC Alexander Wealth Management is not an affiliate of Next Financial Group Incorporated. 2346 Route 33, Suite 307, Robbinsville, New Jersey 08691. Phone number 609-945-7330.
You've been listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot and what's not every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Learn and laugh with us anytime, any place. Go right to our website, AnthonyVincentSalon.com. Click away and listen today.
And if you have a topic of interest that you want us to talk about, or you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us now at trendradio920@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did.
I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye for now.